Keddie back to give us a big boost. Cuddy's been playing every other week, so that's good. And we've got some other options. We've got Hugh Taylor. We've got we can play Lewis Evans second row or back row. We can play James Benjamin. We've got Ben Friday and Basham and Greggins who are fit. So we're pretty strong in that position. It's really tough because he had an unbelievable pre-season. He had some really good moments last year, but he had some obviously injuries as well. So, but I think the new members of our staff. So Ian Evans. I mean, he was blown away by how impressive he was in pre-season, and then just to do his bicep just pretty close to the start of the season was hard. But hard on him, and he's obviously been itching to play. So he might have been available last week. He was touch and go, but we gave him another week just to be sure. So we're glad we did now. Obviously, with what's happened with Ollie. He's incredibly fit, pushed himself really hard, really consistent, and has quite good leadership quality. So he's in a leadership group, and we think he's got a big future. We obviously look at last year's game. We had a lot of youngsters. We still have a young team, but they've got experience now. So it's a really big challenge. This is a core group now. So now we've got Hallam's actually training where he's in Wales this week, getting his treatment and things like that. So effectively, this is the core group. We're here for 11 months of the year, so it's a big opportunity for them to step up. Last year during international periods, we had two good performances. We drew with Ulster at home, and then we drew with Glasgow, and that's what we want to get points now over this period. We have 2 away games and then Edinburgh at home. But yeah, it's a real opportunity for this group and to step up and get game time, and obviously put down a marker in terms of their position in the squad. It's a pretty hard place to go. They've generally one of the best supported teams. Even in Ireland, they get the most consistent supporters at home games. Class stadium, and it's obviously a unique place historically, and they love their rugby, and obviously they won the Heineken Cup very early doors, but since then they haven't had the same level of success. Got to a final 6-7 years ago against Leinster in Twickenham, but they're very ambitious. They've recruited and always recruited quite well. New coach Dan McFarland, who I played with, we know very well, and they had a lot of close wins at the start of the season, so really good at closing out those tight games. Then had a tough tour to South Africa in terms of injuries, and lost their home game to Connacht. But I thought they got well beaten in the end, scoreboard wise against Racing. But some of the rugby they played was very entertaining and ambitious, and they're a team to keep the ball more than any other team in the competition. So we're going to have to definitely defend well and kick well, and that's been an area of our game. Our kicking hasn't been out of hand, hasn't been as good as we would have liked, and that's put ourselves under pressure. So that's definitely an area we need to fix this weekend. Better, we're more competitive. I think last year we went to Northampton and shipped 60 points or 55 points. We were never in the game in the LV, and there was times when we just weren't even at the races. Away from home. Whereas this year we've gone to Glasgow, which I think is a good barometer. Glasgow are a good side, and we dug in, and that's for us to win regularly. We got to become hard to beat. We're getting harder to beat. Even Northampton didn't have an easy night, even though we gave them some gifts. And that's unfortunately that's where we're at. We've got to go from being probably easy to beat to hard to beat to win. I see enough. Even the loss against the Blues, loss against Treviso. We're certainly competitive. And that's the more we stay competitive, the quicker and closer we are to being a team who win those tight games. So that's there's progress, not as fast as we'd like. We all, the difference between a genius and an idiot is success, and we just got to keep the head down and keep working hard to turn those narrow losses or competitive games into wins. I think for the guys in camp, for them to see a team, picking up points, performing well, we'll give them. We don't want to overburden our guys in camp. We don't want them to feel they've got to come back and rescue the situation. The ideal scenario for us is this group, move the team on. So when they come back from camp, there's competition for places, and it's a really healthy environment where there's been some confidence from winning. So that's all we can focus on. We know there's some really good players gone. Other teams, Edinburgh will lose players in November, you'd imagine. So it's a real test. This period is a real test of squad's depth, and if I was a player who was on the fringe for the last 7 or 8 weeks, I'd definitely be excited about what I can do over the next the next 6 weeks to help my region.